What up, everybody? This is Butterscud, the neighborhood thug, coming to you live from the first podcast of the week. It's March 27th, 2023. My name is Leroy Gaffney. We're going to talk a little bit, man. I hope everybody had a beautiful, wonderful weekend. I had a nice, enjoyable weekend. Sat and watched a little tournament ball, a little March Madness, man. Enjoyed myself. The Go Hard podcast. I took a little time out, man. I was checking out a few things, some live, some news, some YouTube situations. So let's get into it. This weekend there was a setup. There was something that was going on with YouTuber that we call Miss Pearly Things. I was listening to her, and she had said some derogatory things about the black community. So I'm going to work that into what I feel. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on that. Not to mention, I'm going to give you a little rant on the stuff that I've seen this whole weekend, man, that kind of didn't bother me, man, but it's something that we need to address because it's pertinent in what we're doing as black artists, especially black male, masculine artists like myself. You know, we got a lot of stuff that we need to talk about and a lot of issues that we need to address so that we can become better and more prevalent in this space. Okay, this is the YouTube space that I'm talking about. There's also the space that we like to take up in the community, because everything that we do isn't all about YouTube and all about the internet. Some of this stuff is life, you know. That's why I take a little time out sometimes, man, so I can deal with life. Like I say, I was checking out a few things. So the first thing I'm gonna address is about that Pearly Thing situation. Make sure my mic is on. That's a situation, man, that's touchy because I've listened to other YouTubers and I heard them say stuff like, it don't have anything to do with you. It don't, it doesn't apply to you as far as your business plans and aspect, and you should be working, which is true. So now this is your work. It's coming at you right now because you cannot have anybody disparage your lineage by saying slavery was embellished because you go by one author, not even a historian, but an author, Alex Haley, who said that he embellished a little bit to make slavery look negative and bad. Okay, all right, you know, a lot of people make things sound and worse than it is, man. I've seen Schindler's List. That was a working historical background, and that was harsh and cruel and devastating to a people. So, you know, they embellished it to bring out the truth. I think that Alex Haley may have made a historical piece to embellish it, to make it look like slavery was harsh and cruel, which it was. I don't need no white lady coming and telling me that it's embellished, especially when you're talking to a white supremacist and tell him that our history was embellished. If you think that's going to go on well, let me give you a little history lesson that I looked into for myself. Okay, we've seen a lot of Holocaust, but the Jewish Holocaust isn't the only Holocaust there was out there. There was another Holocaust. It was the Turkish-Armenian Holocaust of 1915 to 1916. It wasn't long, but it was just as excruciatingly evil as any other Holocaust ever in the world, the Jewish and the slavery passing, you know, sinner passing that we went through. It was considered the first genocide of the 20th century. It was the annihilation of Armenian Christian people living in the Ottoman Empire. 664,000 to 1.2 million died during this massacre or individual killings. It was the Ottoman, they called themselves the Young Turks, government officials that imposed this Holocaust on the Armenian people. It was destructive, it was devastating. It was mass killings. It was people that were taken into custody and killed solely on the Christian beliefs and being Armenian. Okay? So you say, Scud, why'd you bring that up? Why would you say something like that? All right, picture this. If I was to go and say, yeah, this was a Armenian genocide and 1.2 million died, but it was embellished. It was overblown. But I said this to the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian, the sisters. How do you think they will feel about being told that the Holocaust that happened to their people, and they are Armenian? If I was to go and say that to them, how do you think they would react to me saying something like that? How do you think Armenian people, period, would react to me saying that the Turkish and Armenian Holocaust and the Turks, they did that to you, man, but I think that they really loved you and that it wasn't as bad because some Armenians was probably treated well. Some Armenians might have, instead of killing them up front, they might have showed them a little respect. You think that the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian would say to me, well, you're right. That's the past, and you shouldn't, and I know you brought it up, and it had no recourse of what we're talking about now because you were talking about something else. But it has no recourse in what we're talking about now, so I can, I'll still hire you. I'll still, date you. I'll still, go about my business because it really was nothing. It was a bleep in our society. In fact, it won't but 1 year. You think that's going to go over well? Now, see, and this is the problem. We deal with white folks. I have white folks in my family, and I love them just as much as I love certain other members of my family. However, just because we are together doesn't mean they have the right to talk and say things about the black community because they're not black. I can't say anything about the Armenian Turkish Holocaust and get a good reception on it because I'm not Armenian or Turkish. So why would you bring up something about a community, and they wasn't even talking about it in the first place, but why would you bring up something about our community and think that it's okay for us to accept because we all out here trying to get money? And that is true. I'm on this platform to make money. The people up here are on this platform to make money. But I'm very clear on my love for the black community. Now, that don't mean I'm going to go out here and every time a black person say something, they dead right, and I'm going to, fight for them to say it and all that stuff. But I do know what I'm allied with. I do know that our people have to have some sort of code. And now I've heard a lot of other people talk code, like black folk need to be on code and black folk need to be on code. But then if you being on code, why would you let a lady say anything she want about your community? That don't mean just because she empowers a few of you guys or talks a few things about, how she likes black folks and this and that, and we are supposed to let it go because we chasing the bag. Of course we chasing the bag. Everybody out here is chasing bag. But you got to have a little line that you cannot cross. I don't need anyone telling me how I should take slavery or how my people should accept slavery. That's some bullshit. Excuse my language. That's some bullshit. Listening to this mess, I'm listening to these guys accepting this stuff and telling us that, man, if you want to make some money, you got to let these white folks say what they want about you. And that's not the trick. That's not the case. If you want to say money, you got to be a person that's true to your game. You got to know your background. You got to know your tribe. And if you're going to sit here and act like you don't know your tribe because you're out here getting money, you're going to be the one to get played. I heard certain people saying certain things like, if you can't let them talk like they want to talk, that's a slippery slope. No, you walked the slippery slope already. You got to the point where white women or whatever who want to say something about you can say anything about you and tell you that you are wrong because you should be worrying about the money, not worrying about what the fuck I say about you. And that's a lie. That's a total myth. Do not let anybody tell you no mess like that. That's false. I'm saying, man, we all out here trying to get the bag. But I'm not going to let anyone tell me how I should feel about my history or black people's history. We're going through, man, what we're going through right now is a difficult time. Money is short for everyone, black or white. Money is tight. So we all up here trying to get the bag. We all out here trying to make money. So I can understand that you got a difficult problem, white folks. We do too. Sometimes I feel as though it's exponentially harder for us. You know, I listen, like you said, I'm watching basketball this weekend. It's part of the subject, but it's not all the subject. I'm watching basketball this weekend. I'm watching something, man. I'm coming up, and I'm starting to see something that's bothering me sometimes. And I call it the Charles Barkley effect. I'm seeing that there's these commentators, like Charles Barkley, he's one, but he's not the only one. And I see that he's placating to white people for capital gain in the way he's commentating these games. Seems like he's rooting for the predominantly white colleges and white basketball player teams to win over these other teams. I'm watching the Cretin against San Diego State. A clear foul was done at the end of the game, but they're trying to fight because Cretin, which is a predominantly more white team than San Diego State, will lose if he doesn't call a certain foul. So I'm seeing that, man, this man is placating. He's purposely rooting for the whiter teams, the Cretins, the Princetons, the Dukes. Now, don't get me wrong, there's black players on all of these teams, but the predominantly white school is what they're pushing. They're thinking, and I'm saying to myself, okay, maybe he's doing it because he enjoys seeing white folks win. No, he's placating so that more white folks will watch the finals because there's a predominantly white school in there. That's fine with me. I have no problem with that. But don't think that's the truth. Don't think that we don't see what you're doing. We know that y'all are trying to get white folks to watch the national championship. It wouldn't be nobody watching if it was Hampton against Novel State in the final fours and the championships. We understand that. But do not tell us that you're being forthright with us or that you're trying to push equality when we see that you push for whiter teams to win these games. I can see it with the Dirk Nowitzki, the way y'all root for him and Nokovic. I love watching them play. Nokovic is tough. He's tough as any basketball player that I've seen, but I see what it is. You're pushing for these non-black players to be propped up because you know that brings money to the forefront. I'm good with that. But you're not gonna goddamn tell me that you sitting here and you're being equal with your praise for these players because we see what you're doing. That's fine, like you say, we all out here to make money. But when did you stop that and draw the line at being equal and telling the facts? That some of these teams, these predominantly black teams, are better teams when they're coached well. You know, don't get me wrong, man. I mean, I'm for everybody out there. Like you say, I love a Dirk Nowitzki back in the days. I love the Jokovic and the Joker and all them, man, they nice players, but they tend to fade in the playoffs. Nobody says that. If I see that, what's your boy from Houston, with the beard, he fades in the playoffs, and they will tell you he fades in the playoffs, but they won't tell you how these predominantly European players sometimes fades in the motherfucking championships and playoffs. And then you look up and you got Golden State, Giannis, and all them winning. Yet you pushed all these years, all these games for certain players that you hype them up. And then you look up and then, well, damn, they so hyped, why they not winning the championships? That's because, the unwritten rule is not to talk about the black player being more effective on the basketball team. I'm not even going to say he's superior. I'm just going to say he's more effective on the basketball, because it's a certain feeling that you get when you play against non-black players, where you feel as though I got to prove myself more than anyone. Where they might feel as though, hey, man, it's just a game. To us, it's win or lose, life or death. That's why you see a lot of these boxers, man, that they used to, the Henry Mancini's, the Boom Boom Mancini, the Lil Red Lopez's and everything, and they get hyped up. But when they go up against real players like Aaron Pryor and Sugar Ray and all them, those guys fade, because it's more than just winning to us. It's life or death, man. This is our chance to prove ourselves against the opposition. That's a powerful force. That's a force that we need to push and understand. However, it's being hidden and played down because we want the bag. We chasing money. And that's fine, but come on, man. It's life or death, man. We got families to feed. We got people that we got friends and family, man, that's counting on us to do better, and they're not going to let us go up against the opposition on some bullshit that, man, you should tone it down because, the opposition ain't going to like it. People are going to think that you trying to take over, that you trying to be a supremacist. Damn that shit. You're here to win. I'm here to win. I'm here to make money, though. So I don't want to not include anyone. I want everybody to be down with what I'm saying. But I know my tribe. I know who's behind me when the chips are down. You know what I'm saying? It don't take but one thing, one excuse, one problem. You see this Jonathan, what's his name? Jonathan Mayer's dude. He almost got taken down. He almost got deleted from the history of motion pictures and stuff like that. But, things have changed for him. Certain things now that you can't just do to black men. So you're going to have to they're going to catch yourself, and you're going to have some proof. But it don't take but a little bit to get, dismissed. It don't take but a little bit for them to say, man, well, his star shine long enough, man, let's shut it down. And then you don't have the black community behind you, and you look up and you can't do anything. You can't even, you went from Ant-Man to some Tubi movie. That's where you're going to hope to be if this thing would have went wrong for him. So, we got to understand that this is not just out here getting the bag, out here just saying and doing things so that people accept us. Yeah, we need acceptance, but we got to be true to ourselves, and we got to be true to each other. There is a code that we need to be on. We can't let Miss Pearly things come up here and say anything about our community and think we're supposed to let it go because we're chasing a bag. Damn the bag if she's talking bad about you. Like I said, if I was to go to one of the Kardashians talking about the Armenian Holocaust of 1915 to 1916 was embellished or overdrawn, I would get canceled by those people. Period. You cannot let anybody come in here and say what they feel about you, because the slippery slope that they're talking about with what they were saying is that. It's not where it's going, it's right there. You let a lady come into your community and say anything she wants to about you until she got too comfortable when she started saying stuff about your history. And now we supposed to forget about it because she got paper or she helps other people. And then when you bring it up, because this ain't nothing but 20 minutes out of my day, 30 minutes out of my day. When you bring it up, you got people out here telling you that you making a big deal out of it. This ain't all my day. After this, I'm going to get something to eat. I'm going home, talk to my girlfriend. I'm going to do all I want to do. And this will be just a goddamn something that I made on YouTube. But you're not going to sit and tell me that I'm overblowing this stuff. Black folks, you got to walk that special line, man. You got to do the things, man, that will help your community first, as well as get the bag. You can't sit here and let these folks just say or do anything to you. I watched a grown man, Charles Barkley, one of the greatest basketball players, sit here and placate to these guys, I'm not even gonna say white people. I'm just gonna say to the people that pay his paycheck, and not tell the truth about what he's seeing. You know what I'm saying? Because he has a attachment to white people or non-white or non-black people. So do not sit here and tell me that you don't see what I see. And he's not the only one that's doing this thing. I see a lot of them. I'm not going to go into names, but I call it the Charles Barkley effect. There's something that we're going to have to address, black folks. We're out here trying to get the bag. And we know, I'm not a hard ass why I'm making you can't say nothing bad against the black community, because yeah, we do a lot of bad things. We do a lot of unnecessarily stupid things. But I will tell you this. If you let these folks get comfortable with saying and doing whatever they want to you, you will have an issue later down the line when they take your money and tell you, well, that's what you deserve because y'all Negroes stay in trouble. And then why we stay in trouble? Because we put you in trouble. And then when we come at you, half of your people agree with me. So you don't understand, man. This is bigger. Of course, when somebody says to you, well, this don't matter, man. What does it mean to you and what we're going through? It means a lot because the white folks will use this as a way to denigrate you, your kids, your women, and your motherfucking and your neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Where your money where there's nothing invested in you because they're like, man, they're gonna tear it up anyway. We don't need to put a Rex in. And then you wonder, well, damn, why they have that sentiment about us? They have it because you sit here and you let white folks talk bad about you, make you look stupid. Like you said, you cannot go to the Jewish community and say that their Holocaust was embellished. You can't go to these Armenians and say that their Holocaust, but they can tell you that slavery was overblown or embellished because of an author. He's not even a real historian. He was an author that made up a story. And this lady used that to talk to white supremacists to denigrate your people. Then when you talk to them and you get comfortable and you start calling each other nigger in front of them and everything like that, then you wonder why they can't help themselves. They gotta denigrate you because you denigrate yourself. Some came up one time and I heard this guy and I was like, man, it makes sense. He said, wow, million and billionaires so infatuated with using the word nigger. When you rich already, we have nothing to do with what you, but it's something that they feel as though I got to say. Because I can, if I can't, that means I'm not in control. You know? I've heard that said before. I don't know, I got to say it. If you can say it, I can say it. Why the hell you worry about what I'm doing? If you worry about what I'm doing, if you want me to say it, pay me not to say it, and I'll never say it. But then again, that's the problem. They The reason that they have issues these days because they don't want to pay nobody. They don't even want to pay their own people. They don't want to pay young white men. They don't want to pay black men. They don't want to pay nothing. But they want you to do what they ask you to do. You know, without being compensated. So, that's the issue that we have right now, man. Better listen to me, fellas. You better listen to me, black people. It's a slippery slope. Yeah, I heard YouTubers say there's a slippery slope. Some old fat motherfucker, I don't know who he is. Tell me there's a slippery slope. The slippery slope is now. The slippery slope is when the reparations talk shut down, or when, you know, when they got that rec center that they trying to build in your community, or when them jobs coming, and they say, no, we don't do that because these black folks don't deserve it. And why they don't deserve it? Well, you know, they're pushing issues that don't really mean nothing, like slavery and Jim Crow and blockbusting in your communities and stuff. All that's overblown. It's embellished. So, you know, we don't owe them nothing. When you know they do owe us something. Don't go by not owing you something. I heard a person talking about they don't think that we should go after reparations because they look at it as, man, we begging. No, that's like a big dude coming to your neighborhood and you loan him $1,000, and then you say, yo, man, you know, or he takes $1,000 from you, and you like, yo, man, I need that money back, man. When you gonna give it to me? And he's like, man, what money? You got Devoed. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel the reparations about. You getting Devoed out your money, and then when they look at, and then when you look at your people that's supposed to be behind you, and they looking at you like, well, you know, I don't want to fight for that. Them niggas, they tough. White folks will kick your tail. No, man. I'm going to die for mine. You need to do the same for you. And that ain't all about dying. It's all about being on code. If all of us at the same time give us our money, they're going to give you your money. Or they're going to figure out a way. Or they're going to, you know, or they're going to tell you, no, you don't get no money. What you going to do? You going to take it? That's when you got an issue. That's when you got to figure out what you going to do. I'm not telling you take it. I'm not telling you to back off. I'm going to tell you, you gotta, that's your line. That's your line in the sand. And if anybody ain't helping you make that line in the sand, then you need to check them. All right, man, I've been on here long enough, man. I'm going to enjoy my day. I'm going to figure out this real situation. But like you say, this is just Pearly thing is 27 minutes out of my day. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. I hope you do the same. I know my neighbors are listening to me like, man, this dude crazy. That's cool. I am crazy shit. Crazy about my money. Crazy about how you think about me. So, we're going to end it right there. The non-black people in my family, I want you to understand that this is not a slight against you. This is not an issue that I have with you. This is a problem that we have in our community. This is something that needs to be addressed amongst us. This is the part of the code that we're always talking about. And the code is you cannot disrespect us and think we're going to sit here and not say anything about it. I don't care about the bag, because we can still get the bag and be clear about how they feel about us. You know, no one else takes this abuse from Jews, Armenians, Christians, Germans, Africans. No one's going to sit here and let you denigrate their background and think you're not going to say anything about it. So, it was real. I had to get that off my chest. Have rant, have history lesson, have, you know, seeing what I see go on in our community. Hope we can do better. Little Leroy, better known as Butter Scud, the neighborhood thug, for the Go Hard Nation podcast, and I'm signing out. Peace to you, and good day.